Today, we are talking everything about free and freedom and the value and the curse of that. And we're also announcing the new segments of the show. And let's cue the new intro. Let's do it. Good morning. Welcome back. And another season 3. It felt like it took forever to get back to the studio and to rebuild the studio. So yeah, really happy to be here this morning with you. Good morning. Really awesome to see some familiar faces already. Thank you very much for joining us. Interesting enough that from the survey we did, like most people said, well, almost everybody said Fridays, keep it on Fridays. And then there was a bit of a mix-up, not a mix-up, but a toss-up maybe between 7 a.m. and 8 a.m. But 7 a.m. was still the more popular choice. And therefore, we're still keeping to 7 a.m. at this stage. But thank you very much for everybody that gave us feedback and that give input. There's a lot that we're doing this year because of what you said in the survey and because of the feedback that you gave. So thank you so much for that. I really appreciate it. So, today, what are we going to do? Well, as I said earlier, we're going to talk about everything free, the value of it, the curse of it, and just sort of my take on it, specifically from a financial planner point of view. And I think from a business point of view, it's really important to look at that. But I'm also going to delve a little bit into the personal side of that. So really looking forward. It's a bit of a different kind of episode, I think, for me. But something that I've noticed so much over the last 2 months and something that it's on my heart. Sometimes you feel like there's something we need to talk about, and I'm pretty sure you'll get a lot of value from it. This morning, really excited to be joined again by the FBI and David Kopp, or in the form of David Kopp this morning, and then also Norma back with a new segment, and really excited. The FBI has also got a new segment. It's a new way that we're going to do this. And so, yeah, really excited to share that with you. I'll get into the new segments a little bit later. But for now, let's head on over to the FBI and let's hear what David has to share with us this morning.
Good morning, everyone, on this Friday, and really glad to be back on Propulsion Live. So let's start off with current affairs, and nothing more current than last night's SONA address by the president. So cannabis, electricity, water, jobs, digital migration, and small businesses. What do these have in common? Well, they're all important to the state of our nation. Last night, President Ramaphosa gave his State of the Nation address, where he highlighted some important initiatives for growing and strengthening our economy. He acknowledged that government's role is really to enable the private sector to grow. From my point of view, it seems like a lot of the things that were spoken about are things that have been spoken about time and time again, and I'm really hoping to see this time we'll actually see some action on those items. It needs to be easier for small business to actually do business, because I agree with President Ramaphosa that this is where we're actually going to see employment growth. So it's not just the ease of doing business, but it's access to water, electricity, to digital services. So let's see what goes there. And let's not forget the hemp and cannabis industry. This is a huge industry, and not just, as the president said, from the smoking viewpoint, but clothes, medical, plastic replacement, all of those are there, and we've got fantastic ground to grow hemp and cannabis crops and to get in on that action. So let's hope that they move that regulation forward, and those 130,000 jobs can be created shortly. Then following on State of the Nation, the Minister of Finance will be delivering his inaugural budget speech on the 23rd of February. If you want to give him some tips, there's still some time for you to go on the National Treasury's website and submit some tips for the budget. So looking forward to that on the 23rd of February, and then the reviews that come on the 24th. The Fsca has also released 2 important documents on their website. The first is the Fsca Financial Inclusion Strategy. This document outlines 5 pillars for the promotion of financial inclusion, namely promoting financial inclusion through financial education, another matter that is quite close to my heart. Collecting data to promote financial inclusion, supporting technological innovation that enables financial inclusion. So that talks nicely into some of the items that President Ramaphosa spoke about during SONA. Support small financial service providers who typically serve lower income customers with simple and affordable products. So again, a focus on the small business owner and growing that sector. A regulatory and supervisory framework that promotes financial inclusion. So again, very excited to see what comes through the COFI bill and the conduct standards that will be drafted there. And then the Fsca has also published their annual report for 2020-2021 on their website for review. Then, the COVID-19 pandemic has made it difficult for people to answer big questions about their futures, and many financial planners are underestimating the financial anxiety that it is causing, according to a survey. A majority of financial planning clients, 71%, report experiencing financial anxiety, and at least half the time, according to researchers at the MQ Research Consortium and the Kansas State University Personal Finance Planning Program, who conducted the survey with support from the Financial Planning Association and Alliance Life Company. On average, only 49% of financial planners thought financial anxiety was affecting their clients. This again highlights the new skills that financial advisors need to have, and understanding the difference between things like financial stress and financial anxiety. It is quite clear that even though clients might be well off, they are experiencing anxiety, which is really something that we need to focus on and understand how to get that information from our clients. Then, for your braai stories, weather patterns produce distinct smells, and one of those is a lightly pungent scent of ozone that springs from fertilizers and can be carried in the thunderstorms downdrafts from higher altitudes, alerting those with sensitive noses that rain is about to fall. So yes, we can smell the rain. And thank you very much, Francois, and back to you in the studio.
Thank you very much, David. And on that note, thank you. Have a good weekend, and we'll chat next week.
Thank you. You too, Francois.
All right. And we've got back this week, Norma, or this year for this season as well. You'll see that we're ramping up quite a few things that we're doing, the look and feel, but also the content that we are offering in this season. And so let's sit back and head on over to Norma. And Norma has got her Coach's Corner. So let's hear what Norma has to share with us this morning.
Good morning, everyone, and I'm so excited to be back. I hope you guys have set your goals and that you are well on your way and on track into achieving those goals this year. So I think this is the great opportunity for me to talk to you about something called why we're not taking action. So we sometimes think the problem is that people that don't take action are the ones that don't set goals. But even us that set goals, we sometimes don't take action on those goals. And a couple of reasons why. So the first one, which I always think is relevant, is that we don't have a compelling reason. So we don't have that strong why we're doing something. And I found in my own life as well that if I set goals that I think I should be setting, or I set goals because that's what other people are doing, those are normally the ones that, my desire for those goals wane very quickly and I look for something else to do. So I think if we have a compelling reason, it's going to drive us to be much more committed. And if we're much more committed, we're going to be willing to fail and try again and fail as many times as we need to get to where we want to be. And then the second one that I think is very important is that we don't take action on our goals because we don't create those emotions or feelings that drives us to actually take action on those goals. So I want to illustrate that point by showing you the foundational sort of model or framework that I use to help my clients. And this is something that I've learned from my coaches and mentor, and I want to share it with you. So there are really just like 5 elements to whatever happens in our world. So the first one is the C, and that stands for circumstances. So that is really everything that happens in our world, and that's just really the facts. So those circumstances then trigger us to have a thought about it. So the T is for thoughts. So then I have a thought about my circumstances, and then my thought then creates that feeling that I feel in my body. And that feeling is really just a vibration. So once I have that feeling is going to drive me to take actions or to not take any actions. And then if I take those actions, it's going to lead me to a result. And if I don't take action, it's not going to lead me to a result. So let me illustrate it a little bit further by just giving you an example of real life. So let's say, for instance, this one person has a goal that they want to lose, let's say, 20 kilograms. So the result here is like 80 kilograms. So the person at the moment weighs 100 kilograms. So now this person has a thought about this 100 kilograms. And it might be that this person thinks that I love my body and I want to give it, healthy food to eat. So then once I think I'm healthy and I want to stay healthy, then I'm going to create that feeling of, let's say, love for myself. I'm going to create motivation. I'm going to be energized to take action on what I said I was going to do. So then if I feel like motivated or inspired, then I'm going to take all the actions. I'm going to get up early to go and exercise. I'm going to make sure that I prepare my meals. I'm going to make sure that when I have those urges that come up for those food that I love, I'm going to be able to say no to it. And then once I take all of those actions, then it's going to drive me to the result that I want. So this is the first scenario. Now we can sort of flip it. So the same person exactly weighs 100 kilograms, and this person's goal is also to lose weight. So when this person that weighs 100 kilograms, he chooses to think that I hate my body. So once you have a thought of I hate my body, then it's going to create a very different feeling to when I love my body. So when I hate my body, it's really going to create that feeling of maybe despair, of not being motivated, and maybe being self-conscious. So if I feel despair or I feel unmotivated, that is really not going to drive me to take any actions. So then I'm not going to reach my goals. So I want to encourage you to maybe go and think and look at the goals that you've set for yourself this year so far and see the reason why you're not taking action. So maybe ask yourself the question is, how do I feel about my goal? Am I excited to be working towards my goal, or am I doubtful when I think about my goal? And then you would see exactly the reasons why you are not taking action. So stay tuned next week as well, because I'll be going through more detail of this framework, and I'll be exposing that to you, or exposing you to it within the couple of weeks coming. So see you again next week. That's it from me. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Norma. Have a good weekend.
Thank you. Same there.
All right, so with that, we are into the next little segment, which is obviously the announcements, and I've got quite a few things to share with you. Hopefully, you can see the new studios. Obviously, I don't have to announce that. It's been a lot of work, and yeah, I am proud of it. Cool. I will share the story behind it later. All right, so let's rather do, there we go, Season 3, Episode 1. Francois, hold it together, my friend. All right, so first off, let's talk a little bit about what's coming in that's new. We're going to have new weekly segments. So these segments is going to rotate, and they are going to be the last segment of the show, and every week it will be something else. Although these themes will rotate every single month. So there's 4 or 5 segments at the moment. We've got 3 with hosts. There's one more that I'm looking for that I need to speak to someone, which is happening hopefully today. But apart from that, I think everything has been done and dusted for that, and looking forward to kicking that off next week. And we will make that schedule available as well, so that you know which segment happens on which day of the month. But apart from that, really looking forward to that, because there's a whole new dynamic coming with these new things. And it's all based off of the feedback that you gave us. And some of the things we are going to take the topics and have a segment that focuses on that topic. And some of those topics we actually grouped together and made a whole new segment out of it. And so bringing on more hosts and more people to come and talk to you and share with you. And they may very well bring their own guests and things like that. All these segments are 5 minutes in length, so they like a short and to the point. And yeah, so really no a lot of value there, I think. And you'll note there at the bottom of the screen, all our social media stuff. So we've aligned all the social media pages and things that we have with Propulsion Live. So the handle is now Propulsion Live. So whether you go to Facebook, Twitter, or you're on Instagram or TikTok, you won't find anything on TikTok, and probably also not on Instagram at this point, because we haven't started really doing anything. We're kicking this off today. So please go and follow us on at Propulsion Live. And so that you can sort of see some of the short clips that we share and so forth. So, yeah, let's see. I don't know if I'll dance on TikTok. I might. Let's see. You'll have to hold out for that. All right. So that's the first thing that we want to announce. Then the other thing I just quickly want to also share with you is that to remember to go and register. It's our annual complimentary session. And this is for the budget review. I do this every single year. Last year it was 7 o'clock in the evening. This year we're doing it at this year it's 12:30 in the afternoon. So not in the morning, please, but in the afternoon. So please, you can go and register. It is completely with our compliments. It's one of the sessions that I enjoy most. I think I'm doing 3 of these sessions on that day after the budget speech. So really privileged to be involved with some other events as well. But we're definitely doing our own complimentary one. So please, if you want to register, you can just simply go to propulsion.co.za/budget 2022. And you're welcome to go and register. As I said, it is absolutely with our compliments, and you don't have to worry, which is quite, actually, I think, interesting if you look at today's topic, because today we are talking about everything free and the value and the curse of it. But this isn't free. It's just with our compliments, and to say thank you for being a part of the community, being part of the events that we've done last year and the year before, and I think since 2015 that I've actually started. So this is just one little thing. I think it's a fun session. What we do in this budget session is to really look at, obviously, all the announcements, but importantly, we look at the things that haven't been mentioned in the budget speech. And every single year, there's quite a few of those. And I then get into that and the impact of that on financial planning. So definitely it's an hour-and-a-half session. So please come and join us, propulsion.co.za /budget 2022. All right. So that's that for the budget review. I'm obviously a little bit rusted. Let's see. Right. So then the last thing that I just quickly want to share with you, so many of you are Propulsion Pro members, and thank you very much for that. But we launched the new benefits for 2022, and we will also make it available to people who haven't been part of the membership to sort of see what it's about and what we're doing. What I can do is, just quickly highlight a couple of things for you. There's definitely one of the big things that's coming this year is our own summit. So the Propulsion Summit is happening on the 23rd of August. So keep an eye out for the details on that. Obviously, we have the Global Financial Planning Conference happening now in May, the 17th and 18th of May. Really looking forward to that. We're busy going through the speaker and influencer program with over 30 people from South Africa in that cohort. So really excited. And it's been already a busy and an exciting journey thus far. Then also we're bringing crypto education content, but trusted, the best content that we can find and produce from that point. And it's not aimed at how do you make money with crypto. It's about understanding crypto. It's understanding blockchain. It's understanding Web3. So it's about understanding, because we can only avoid this topic for so long until we sort of need to know what's going on. And I can absolutely see a need for that. And therefore, we are bringing some content, but to Propulsion Pro. And then I think the other big announcement around this is just the change in pricing. The prices have been dropped actually quite significantly. So it's now a flat fee of 350 Rand a month, including VAT. So no VAT to be added. It's 350 Rand, including VAT. Per month, month to month, no long-term commitment, no nothing. You can cancel with 1 month's notice. And so definitely worth coming to check it out for this year. And then the annual, you can still pay annually up front, which is now 3,750, including VAT. At the launch, I said 3,900. I dropped that even a little bit further. So 3,750. And then ComSpace clients and Profile Me clients, they pay 315 because they're part of our benefit partners, and other Propulsion Pro members also get benefits from them through their membership. So interesting. Anyway, so let me kick in. I haven't got an intro for my own section yet. You won't believe how long it takes to create these things. But next week I will have something for the segment or the featured guest that we will have next week. But yeah, let's get into the featured topic. Now, the featured topic today is all about sort of free. And I want to talk about the different forms of free, I think, which is important to understand, because when I made this thumbnail to say, well, I want to break free, you can interpret this in so many different ways. And I was even questioning myself, like, what am I talking about here? Or what do I want to talk about? And what do I actually mean? What part of I want to break free resonates most with me, apart from the song in my head, thanks to Freddie Mercury? It is just important for me there's quite a few things that I noticed over the last 2 months. And specifically, I did this thing where I went back onto Facebook for some reason in December. I know why, because there's a few groups to which I belong, and which I did a few things and challenges and things that I had to be there. But now you see all these things again from my past, basically, where, I'm part of all of these different groups. So you have people that are into e-commerce, you have people that are into live streaming, you have people that are into video making, you have people that are into web design and these kind of things. And over and over and over again, like, people come and say, what can I, what free tools are available? What can I use that doesn't cost anything? And it just stood out for me, because I was one of those people quite a few years ago, even 2 years ago, not even that much. I was also always looking for the free thing, and then how can we do this without paying for it? And how can we do that without paying for it? And I think that is the main sort of part from my perspective that I want to talk about today, is the free in the sense of business and free in the sense of, consumption, I would say. But also I might delve a little bit deeper into the other part, which it might mean that, I want to break free from a lot of things. So it might also be that. Let's start off with the different forms of free. And for me, if you look at the definitions, there's really two definitions that come up. On the one hand, it's got to do with being restricted. So it's being able to act and do as you wish, and you're not under the control of another, whatever that may be. And it can also mean that you're no longer confined or imprisoned. Now, hopefully none of us have been imprisoned, but maybe you don't have to be imprisoned in a jail. Maybe in our lives we just imprison ourselves for whatever reason. But being free, in that sense, is good, because it means that you can do what you want, within boundaries, I guess. But you can do what you want. You can move where you want. You can, all of those kind of things. It's in your control. When you are free, you have more control. The other part of it means, and it's simple, the definition, without cost or payment. Now, that's the one that really sometimes, now at this point where I am, and I'll get into it, because I'll share with you sort of, I understand there's a process, and I understand there's sort of, I'm going to look at the value for free. I'm going to see if I can see that, but that's definitely something that I'll look into. All right. So as I said, both of these are really important in our lives, and they're equally important in our business. So that's sort of what I want to delve into now. So my question then becomes is, well, if something is free, okay, and specifically from a business point of view, is there value? What is the value of free? And I actually wanted to call this episode The Power of Free. But I thought, like, no, that's also not true, because I think, yes, free can be powerful in certain senses. But I rather wanted to get into both sides of this yin and yang sort of situation with free, being what's the value and what's the curse of this. So if we look at the value, well, there isn't any value in my mind, unless you value something. Now, I mean, let's take a simple example. It's been quite a long while since you've been to any kind of conference in person, although these things are starting to happen again. Have you Still got, some of you do, I know, because I was one of those. My wife says, I love paper. But do you still have the little booklets and pens and all the brochures and all the stuff that you got there? Even the bag that it came in, do you still have those? Or did you throw it away? Did you not even take it out of the car? Some of you might have, and that's cool. But most of us just, lots of money was spent on it. Lots of care was taken to make it look nice and make it valuable. But we didn't value it simply because we didn't pay for it. If you go and purchase a pen, they could have given you any kind of pen, I would assume, apart now from a Waterman or something. But they can give you a pen, quite a nice, decent pen, and probably within a week or two, you don't even know where that pen is. But you go and purchase that same pen, you look after it because you value it and you spend money on it. And that for me is just, like, if I really think about this, like most of the things that you get for free, and sometimes we become entitled. We just want these things for free because we've always had them for free. Why do I now need to pay? I mean, what a conundrum to sit with. But that's definitely something that also creeps up. Now, there could be value. So I want to put a big but there. There could be value. And when could there be value? Well, I think there's value when we have an opportunity to experience something, when we have the opportunity to assess something, if we have the opportunity then to make a decision off the back of that, that can be valuable. It's always this thing, like I know us South Africans love doing something like, try before you buy. We want to experience it first. We first want a little taste, even the restaurants, you go there, sometimes they give you something to eat or they show you the menu or things before you even go and sit so that you can have peace of mind that this is the place where you want to be. But and then I think it's the opportunity sometimes for us to get on our feet. When you do a new business, you're a new practice, it's hard to just go and pay. If I see what I pay now for licenses, just for software that we use, it's actually I won't say ridiculous because it makes money and it absolutely makes my business run a lot better. But I went from paying nothing to paying a lot more than nothing. And there's a few things that go with that, and I'll get into that in a second, of the things that have improved as a result of me paying for my software. And software is just one example, but definitely something to sort of consider. And I think it's if you can have that opportunity to get on your feet and try things and use things that are free, it helps you. It absolutely helps you. But we must be very careful that we don't get stuck there and then say we want everything for free. And whenever suddenly the thing changes and you need to pay for it, then understand if you got value from it, because I think that's one of the curses, is that we lose sight of what is valuable. Right. So let's get into the curse of things that are free, or just are free in general. I think for me, the biggest thing is the impact it has on future expectations. Now, you can put yourself in those shoes and think about the things that you don't want to pay for, you refuse. And I've seen this a lot. Like we recently did renovations, hence the new need for a studio, because my studio is now a bathroom. So what I saw here, when you talk to the builder or the construction people and so forth, and you want to do this and you want to do that, and then they're all like, no, you don't this, and like I would never pay this for that, and that kind of stuff, because in their mind, they know, and I'm going to say this without any proof, so just take it with a pinch of salt, but they know what things really cost. And they know the markups and the things that they do, et cetera, et cetera. So if they install anything and you don't go and buy it yourself, they do, they would do different things and get it for a much cheaper price probably, or, things like that. So in their mind, I would never pay that because I could get it for this. So I'm not going to pay 10,000 Rand for a bath. I will only pay 5 because I can get it for 5. And a bath is a bath in his opinion. But they lose sight of the fact of what is important to the person that is buying this and sort of why they are doing what they are doing. And from that perspective, I think, their own outlook is like, no, this is too expensive. I said to the guy that was building here, I said, if it wasn't for people like me, you would not have a business. So I see the same thing happening with financial planners, where we do not want to charge people for things that we should be charging for, as an example. One, because maybe we don't know how to position it, but secondly, we've never charged for it before, so how can I start charging now? So again, that thing about that future expectation that was created. But yeah, at the end of the day, clients won't value the things, and they won't engage in the things that they just simply get for free. Or the problem is that they start connecting you and associating you and me with this specific thing of this is how we work. And I recently was part of a conversation where quite a big FSP lost a client to a smaller FSP because the client felt that this small FSP can do more for them and their value proposition is better than this big FSP, which is absolutely not true. Like, we looked at the things that they're getting, and they are definitely like they get that and more at the current FSP. But sometimes people will move from where things are free and being used in the traditional sense, and then go somewhere else and suddenly start paying. And that's always my thing. Like, where did we lose the plot? Where did we miss the opportunity to sort of change what we needed to change? Or how did we miss what the client really values and were willing or was willing to pay for? So that's the first thing. So future expectations, and it's a negative impact on future expectations, because often people then say, well, Francois, you always do these things for free. And if somebody wants something for free, we send them to Francois, as an example. The same thing probably happens in your life, exactly that. The other problem is that when we think about the curse side of fees, and I don't know if curse is the right word, but we don't see value anywhere. We tend to value very little things because we don't put value into the small things. We just, these things are free, these things, I can get this here for free. I know this person, that one can help me with this. And everybody's doing gunsies for amal. But that is quite an important one as well. Now, the biggest thing, if you're a business and you do things for free versus you charge for things, here's my big thing. I would argue, okay, and I stand to be corrected and I'm open for debate, but I'm of the opinion that when you do something for free for someone, unless your intent is to sell them something else at the end, but if you do something for free, the effort that is put into that, the effort that is expended, the care that is taken is not at the same level as that of when you charge for something and somebody actually paid you for the work that you're doing. The same thing, if you're getting something for free, don't expect the person's best work ever south of the North Pole. It's not going to happen because they need to go somewhere else where they can actually make money. So very important point. Just understand the three things. Negative impact on future expectations that people associate with you. We ourselves don't see value, so we also get into that circle, and then the negative impact on our effort that we employ when we're really doing work that we do for free. Now, as I said, there are opportunities where one would do that. I'm doing stuff for free now, but it is out of my own choice. I wasn't asked. I was actually asked, what is your fee? And I said, you know what, in this instance, I'll just do it. But it's much better to be in that position to be able to do that than people constantly asking you to do things for free. It's a much nicer position just to say, you know what, it's fine. I'll do this with my compliments or pro bono or whatever. And that's the other thing. Don't do it for free. Because often when we do things for free, it's hardly that we will ever do it from a point of view where we don't expect anything in return. Even if we say we don't, there's a small thing like somewhere, you owe me, or you know what, maybe if I do this, then I'll get that. There's always that thing playing in the back of your mind. Versus if you do pro bono work, I think if you go pro bono is really, well, one, you don't use the word free, which is fantastic. You don't use the word with my compliments because it still then feels like somebody owes you. Pro bono for me is a professional thing that makes sure that we do it just because we want to do it. We simply give because we don't expect anything in return. So if we really want to do something for free, do it pro bono. And it might be a play on words, but I'm telling you, it's got an impact on your mindset. It's got an impact on the mindset of clients and people that needs to refer other clients to you in your lay of the land. Right, so let's talk about the last part. And for me, when it comes to this free stuff, it really do start with me. Now, you recently would have seen that there was an article in the Blue Chip journal, I think it's called, with the 40th anniversary for the FBI. And I wrote about it starts with me, but it was based on the award that I got 2 years ago. And just sort of the story and sort of my views on it. And, you know, I think you'll get to know me better if you read that. But that's not what this is about. So if I say it starts with me, if I want everything for free, everybody else will want things for free from me. It's amazing how it works. I guess it's got, I don't know, is it the law of attraction? Is it just the vibes and the energy that we put into the universe? And that's what really then where you go, because the way that you do these things is that's the direction in which you go, you know. And then, you know, like that, there's the saying that like attracts like. So, you know, if you want things for free, people looking for free things will also come to you. So it has to start with us to say, you know what, no more free, no more. And I say no more, but I say it with a caveat to say, well, unless you decide it's free, that's it. But people coming to ask you for certain things, people asking for, don't get me wrong, I'm not talking like this isn't happening to me, but it's literally, it has happened previously, like, you know, a couple of years ago, where people would say, you know what, but you can get exposure and we can do those kind of things. There's no much value in exposure, let me tell you. Exposure doesn't put butter on your bread or anything like that. So it's more the principle of charging something. So you don't have to charge maybe what you are set to charge. And let me share that story with you. So when I started off in 2015, 2016, obviously, I mean, I would say well known in certain circles, but it was a very, very small circle. And those people always came to my training that I did and things, but I did that just as part of my job. It wasn't my job. It's just something that I did on the back of I never like even realized how much I liked it. So that's sort of what I did back then. And then I started obviously my own training business and sort of creating content and these kind of things. And I really battled to get bookings. Now, in my mind, it was also a case of I was thinking like, I can't sell. That's the first place I went. I can't sell. You know, I don't have a compelling value proposition. And I did. But the confidence, there was absolutely no confidence at that point. And then sort of I started working with someone and we started looking at different things. And this person went, okay, so what do you do? How many people? And they come up with this elaborate figure, right? Like really crazy. I don't even charge that today. And they said to me, like, this is what you should be charging. So I walked out of there very excited and think, Papa, nou gaat ons geld maak, okay? Because that's why you're in business, right? You do want to make money. And off I went. And the first meeting, second meeting, third meeting, fourth meeting, fifth meeting, like went very well. And then no business, no bookings. Until this one meeting where I sat there and I decided, you know what? A full diary with a lot less is worth a lot more than an empty diary wanting to charge a lot more. So in that meeting, I simply went with my gut and I said, this is what I can do. I will do this. And that's where it started. And it was the one after the next, after the next, after the next. And what I'm trying to get to is here that you need to build that track record as well. So yes, if you've been doing things for free or pro bono or with your compliments or whatever it was, but you've always given good service, you've got a good relationship, you have an asset from which you can now build to start implementing other things. And again, the session is not about charging fees at all. This is simply for me about being able to just understand our own psyche and say, if I want things for free, people want things for free from me as well. And that's maybe not so good for business. The other thing, I wrote an article quite a while back, was around, you know, is free really free? There's one way to distinguish whether somebody's really doing something for free or whether there's an alternative intention or motive for giving the things for free. If you look at the business that they are in, and the thing that they give you for free is 100% in line with the business that they do, then happiness, go for it. If they give it to you for free, but they sell or promote or deliver something completely different, but it is kind of related, then you need to watch out, because then this is a way to generate sort of things, and that's when the emails start coming and the phone calls and the WhatsApps and the stuff. So very importantly, that, just distinguish between that. And even when we decide to do certain things for free pro bono with our compliments, is that the thing that you actually do? So think about the financial planning week, where we do complimentary and pro bono sessions with people, and you do that, but that's 100% in line with what you do. But if you start giving away, let's very, very, very simple example. If we start giving away water bottles, okay, for free, but we actually do financial planning, like those two things, probably we're going to ask, here's a water bottle, but please can I have all your details? And that's not a good place to be, in my opinion. That's not where I want my business to go and my business to be. But yeah, so those are some of the things that I feel around free, and why I feel like I want to break free. There shouldn't be free. There should only be free if you decide that it's free, and there must be a very good reason for you to do that. We often see this in software, where you have this free trial to test it, but then after that it's usually a paid thing. Or there's many of the softwares that we use that you have to start paying immediately. You can cancel later, or you have a 30-day money back guarantee, but you need to pay now. You need to commit now. And funny enough, like, how many of the softwares have you signed up for a free trial and never looked at it? Never, because you're not paying a cent. But go and get a piece of software and you pay for it. You'll make sure that you use it. A last thought on this before I end off is literally, if I think about software again, it's just because I work in software a lot at the moment, and you see all of these different permutations of how people try to get people to use this. Now, here's the danger in your practice, right? I'm going to relate this back to your practice. This is the danger. If you are using a lot of free software in your practice, there's a reason why there's a lot of them, because it's inevitable that on the free version of that software, one, you never get support. So that's the first thing. But second thing is that you don't have all the features that you need. So now what do? We start looking for other software with those features that are free, so that I can use this software for this, that software for the next thing. This software does this. And before you know it, one, you have 5 or 10 sort of licenses or software that you're using. And you've got to get to know them. You've got to learn to use them. And it takes so much time and so much effort, versus getting the software that covers 80% of your need, and then paying for that, and then making sure that, it gets used properly, and then, build it from there. So this is where all my thinking comes from around this whole thing around free. In another session, I'll probably share with you all the things, like, because freedom is a very important thing for me. And freedom to make choices, to go places, freedom to be able to do what I want to do, how I want to do it. So that's very important to me. So we'll definitely chat about that somewhere in the future as well. All right. So just quickly, let me announce the some of the segments that's already been booked, and I know that I've got hosts for that. So the first one is going to be Beyond Financial Planning. And I'm excited to announce that Louis van der Merwe will be hosting that segment. And then we've got Marketing and Branding, where Razan Oosthuizen from Profile Me will be hosting that. And then the technology one, we are going to have various people hosting that. So it will be myself included, and quite a few. But yeah, so that's the ones. And then the other one I'm very excited about, but I still need to speak to this person. I have chatted on WhatsApp, but I need to actually talk and confirm this. Ladies and gentlemen, that is not Mambo number 5, but yeah, it is definitely episode 1 of season 3. I really thank you for being here. I really appreciate it. And I hope that you have a fantastic weekend. We'll see you back next week, same time, same place. Stay safe, and remember to raise the bar. Bye-bye.